The Flames of War season has brought us flamethrowers into World of Tanks console. So far, we only have two tanks that carry flamethrowers as secondary weapons. The Tech Tree Tier 8 Czechoslovakian medium tank, the TVP VTU, and the new premium Tier 5 British heavy, the Churchill Oki. There are more tanks to come in the future, but for now, let's dive into the basics of these new flamethrowers. The current flamethrowers utilize the multiple weapon systems in this game, so they are secondary guns. They use clips like the autocannons in Cold War to limit your spraying potential to a limited amount per clip. They have limited ranges, and from my experience, keeping the enemies 100 meters or closer is ideal for obvious reasons. The flamethrower itself does not actually deal damage, but instead adds time to a new external fire mechanic the longer you make contact with your flamethrower. The external fire is how you do your damage. It will tick for the flamethrower's alpha and its alpha range per tick, and yes, flamethrowers do have different alpha values. The Oki has an alpha per tick of 13 to the TVP's alpha per tick of 15. These external fires can do more than just damage the vehicle. For tanks with closed tops, they will heavily damage the viewport and damage the engine over time, even allowing for an internal fire to break out. Open top tanks get punished even harder by having their crews knocked out easily, with a 50% chance per tick of knocking out these crews, which means they will be knocked out pretty quick. However, don't worry about dying with all your HP left but your crew dead, because seemingly that mechanic of death was removed and all your crew members can be knocked out, but you're still able to move your tank. Not only will the crew be knocked out easily in an open top vehicle, but any modules exposed to that open top can be damaged as well, allowing for not only internal fires to be set, but also ammo racks to be blown. The only modules not damaged by fires are tracks and gun modules. This difference in module and crew damage between closed and open top tanks obviously makes flamethrowers extremely deadly against those open top vehicles. With that in mind, as you spend your time hosing someone down in flames, each hit from the flame ammo adds zero point 0.2 seconds to that external fire mechanic's burn time. That burn time has a maximum burn time of 8 seconds for an external fire. Interestingly too, enemies being burned by an external fire have a 15% camera reduction and therefore are easier to be spotted. And you also can use these flamethrowers to burn down soft cover. That's about it for the flamethrowers themselves, but fire extinguishers also have a new mechanic given to them. Fire extinguishers now extinguish all fires, which means they do put out those external fires, and they're given a new active use ability as well called Fire Suppressor. What this does is make you immune to fire and fire damage for 10 seconds. I mentioned earlier that flamethrowers don't do damage themselves, but instead with the external fire mechanic, meaning since fire extinguishers put out all fires and make you immune to those fires for 10 seconds, your flamethrower against someone who just used an extinguisher is rendered useless for 10 full seconds. Not a problem with the secondary guns, as it just means you switch to your main gun and use that, but that's a hard counter in case we make some flamethrower only tanks down the line. But that's not an issue as of now. Also worth mentioning is that the passive of fire chance reduction on the extinguishers was changed to read only internal fires, which goes the same for the fire prevention skill, which is understandable and makes total sense since, like I said, flamethrowers themselves don't do the damage, instead just add time to the external fire mechanic, which is a guaranteed chance to be set, so fire prevention wouldn't make sense to work against it. And that's it. That's all the changes and new mechanics with the newly introduced flamethrowers. We'll have to wait and see what other new potential flamethrower-only tanks can provide in the future releases, but in the meantime, enjoy their novelty as secondary weapons in World of Tanks console. Thanks for watching, and take care.